Welcome back to Traders Cast, episode number 3. Today we are with a very special guest named Shane. Bro, super awesome to have you on the podcast.
Excited.
Where do we get started, man? I feel like you are such a big figure that not a lot of people know about, but the people that you manage are very well known in the space, right? So before we talk about everything that you do and what you do for these people, who are you? Like, where did you come from? How did you establish yourself in the position of management? Where are you looking to go with everything? Why don't you just give us a rundown of who you are?
I'm from San Francisco Bay Area. Grew up playing drums. So it's from 3rd grade on, I taught myself how to play drums. I was in a band with my brother throughout my whole life, really up until COVID. So I was in, we traveled from all the way from Vancouver all the way down to LA. Like we did a lot of West Coast tours, because it was just us. It would just be me and my brother in our car with our bandmates, set up all of our own shows, doing all of our marketing, everything. Just
how much money would you make off that?
Nothing.
Nothing? You just did it for free?
You just do it for the fun of it.
Okay.
For the experience,
how old were you?
From 6th grade all the way up until
okay, so you were
18,
young.
19.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the experience, I met so many people who gave me the backbone of really what I do now, which is, the entertainment management, because I was always around, all the venues, all the people, just kind of seeing behind the scenes, as well as seeing the artist perspective, being in the studio, making music with my brother, writing the drum parts. So I kind of got to see both worlds. And then on top of that, I was in jazz band, marching band, in my, middle school, high school, all that, and college. So music's really my whole life. And, now I'm kind of in the art scene as well.
Yeah.
So I do music, art, and anything entertainment, fashion is all really the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So after I, graduated high school, I moved down to LA and was there for 4 years. I do not recommend LA anymore.
Why?
So
Why is that?
I was burnt out.
Which part of LA?
I was in Koreatown, Culver City, Chinatown, so a little bit everywhere. Central.
Got you.
But
downtown area?
Yeah, close to downtown.
Oh, yeah. I do not like downtown LA.
I don't like LA in general anymore.
So
you go down south Laguna
Yeah.
Beach, Newport. I have family down there. It's a lot nicer.
Nicer, yeah.
But LA now is
it's fucking a shit show, in my opinion, because I lived in LA for about 8 months, right? But I lived in Anaheim, right next to Orange, right, where the Honda Center is. I used to live right next to it, and it was so calm and peaceful. I didn't really encounter traffic. The days that I did encounter traffic, which out of the 8 months were few days in those months, bro, I would hate it because it's bumper to bumper traffic. And Miami's not any better, but I know the times to go out and stay in because I pick my own schedule. So if there's going to be, we know from 3 to 6:30, there's traffic. I stay in at those times. And then I go out at the times that there isn't traffic. But with LA, man, it doesn't matter what time you go to downtown or Beverly Hills or Rodeo Drive, you're going to encounter traffic. And it's fucking shitty.
right before COVID hit till
Okay, yeah.
basically 2019 till 2020, last year, 2023.
Yeah.
I was there. And I was just over it. I was tired. Like I said, it's not the same after COVID now. It's just...
I heard that's what I heard. After COVID, shit got worse.
It did, yeah.
Before COVID, it was nice.
Yeah, but even then, it was still on the way down.
On the way down.
Miami is really the new LA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my personal opinion. It's clean here, not as dirty. You can be walking on the streets and stay safe. LA, you can't do any of that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like you said, in my opinion, the people out here are nicer. In Miami, you get a lot more different ethnicities, and there's a lot of mixed type of people.
Days coming up next week, and we were actually thinking of going to Vegas.
Okay.
But only for 2-3 days, because after the third day, it's so draining. Because besides party, the bottles, the clubs, what else do you do in Vegas? You get me? There's this place you could go race exotic cars around a track, but I already have the exotic car, so it doesn't hit the same. You get me? I don't think. What else can you do in Vegas? You could go to Gold's Gym, but that's not really that's not really Vegas. That's more of LA.
Yeah.
That's where it originated from. So when you think about it,
I will say,
what can you do in Vegas?
Vegas, you can do things. You can go snowing there. Snowing. You can go skiing and snowboarding.
Snowboarding in Vegas?
30 minutes outside to the mountain.
To the mountain? Oh, to the mountain.
It's only 30 minutes, which is close.
Yeah.
You can also shoot guns. They have those places where you can go, shoot tanks and stuff. But trust me, I agree. Overall, there's not much to do.
You could shoot a tank?
Yeah, miniguns. You can.
Can you look up where you could shoot a tank? And once you get it, pop it up because...
Yeah, you can shoot a tank, minigun, like RPGs. It's just like a free-for-all.
So check this out. About 4 or 5 months ago, I buy my mom a new car. My mom has had the same 2005 Ford Explorer forever. I took that through high school, fucked it up. You know, in high school, as a kid, you're drifting the car, you know, showing off. Bro, I put that car through an alleyway, scratch the door, scratch everything, right? Running away from the school cop, right? And I bought her a new car. I bought her a brand new Mercedes-Benz 2023. Not the expensive Mercedes, by the way, guys. My mom, she could care less about what car she drives as long as it takes her from A to B. Not materialistic at all. She didn't even want a car. She's like, leave me with my junk, you know. I love it. Like, she's one of those moms that she stores away the bags that you would use to give someone a gift with. What the fuck are you doing this for? And she's like, oh, what happens if we have to give someone a gift? You go and buy a new bag at Walgreens. She's like, no, that's $20. So overall, she's that type of mother. But where I was going with the story is that, where was I going with the story? Oh, yes, I bought her the new car. She has the old car. And I'm like, bro, guys, why don't we blow the fuck out of this car? You got me? We take it somewhere in Homestead, and we just put dynamite, put a bunch of shit in it, and just blow it up with guns. I have a huge gun collection, so I'm like, maybe I could get my guy out there. He could bring his rocket launcher, right? We get, obviously, authorization from the city and everyone else to do it legally and blow this shit up. But then, bro, my mom threw a fit. She's like, no one's going to blow my little car up. I wanted to blow it up and junk it for like $500, but, you know, right?
She's attached to it, though.
Yeah. Bring that up. So let's see how they blow up a tank in Vegas. Okay.
Here we go.
Holy fuck. Let's see this. Just skip into the part where they blow that shit up.
Yeah, you can run over a car. You can do anything. I told you.
How much is that? Like $1,000, $5,000?
It's too.
You can like ride in helicopters and do like the guns. I'd like.
Yeah. So
It's.
Yeah. So me and my.
All you gun enthusiasts.
Yeah, me and my business partner, we're gonna do that this year. In Texas, hogs are a huge problem. They fuck up people's properties and stuff like that. We're gonna get on a helicopter and just shoot the motherfuckers. Just fuck you.
I've seen videos of that.
Yeah, bro, it's gonna be fucking crazy. With that being said, I wanted to go on to this subject and ask you, now that you have been in the music, the art industry, multiple different industries that ultimately all come into one, right? Like, what are you looking to do with these industries? Like, are you looking to keep on managing successful people like you manage now? Are you looking to actually become the figure in the industry, whether it's you making music, designing clothing, designing artwork? Where is your focus shifted to?
You know, I like to be behind the scenes for the most part.
Nice.
So I don't like to be on Instagram or anything. Like, obviously nowadays you have to be. You got to post something just to stay relevant so people can see your face, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to
branding is everything.
Exactly. So, you know, I think I got like 3 main focuses. I want to be focused on my management company. I've had that for like a year, so I want to start, you know, really adding, you know, managers underneath me. And so I'll just be able to be more hands off.
Is it creating a better system?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you know, that's the success to big businesses and corporations is systems. You know, have the systems in place. So I definitely want to get that out of the way now before I start getting more and more artists, because I get hit up every day, if not, you know, multiple times a day. Hey, like, are you looking to manage new people? I just don't have the mental capacity or the time in a day to do it, you know? Not that I wouldn't love to, but...
How many people do you manage now?
I only manage 3, and that's a lot.
Who are they, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, of course. So I got, of course, Artlana. I live out here in Miami full-time, and I got my other artist, Zach Settle.
Yeah. Can you pull up who's Artlana so everyone can see who that is? But keep going.
I got Zach Settle in LA, and then I also have like a videographer I manage named Xavier.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like drones and like just like recaps, music videos, all that stuff.
Yeah. Do you know who this person is by any chance? I've been listening to this guy's music, and I have like Like this guy hits, like his music hits me on a different level. This is who the guy is. 808.
808 BZ.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That guy is like,
I'm gonna check him out because I love finding new artists. That's like,
bro,
so I'm a music fanatic, so
that guy, if I meet that guy in person
808 BZ.
and he has like the correct intentions and integrity, I will invest into that guy. His music,
808 BZ. We're gonna connect.
yeah, like 808 BZ, hit me up. Like,
We're gonna make it happen for sure.
bro, I would invest into this guy into a heartbeat. Whatever the fucking guy needs. You got me. Branding, marketing, whatever the music label needs, bro, I would invest. I hear his music and it's gotten me through a lot of tough situations. You got me. One of his songs is Holy. You got me. And it says, I shouldn't be here, but I am. You got me. And I think about when I was a kid, bro, I was picking up cardboard from the buildings that I now live in. I was picking up cardboard from the streets that have, you know, some of the most famous restaurants in the world that now I could just go in and order the most expensive item on the menu and not give a fuck about. So his music really resonates with me. And that's where I feel like with what you're doing, it's so important, the management, because these people, I feel like they have a really good talent, which is either art, it's either music, it's either designing clothing, but they don't have the best management skills for themselves. And that's where you come into play. And that's where I feel like you are the tree, right? And they're the branches, but you're the core. You're what makes everything happen around them. What does like a day-to-day look like for you with Artlana, for example, who, bro, the guys, every day I see him painting a new car, doing something new. His schedule is pretty hectic, so I'm pretty sure you're the one behind that. So what does your day-to-day look like with him?
Yeah, I mean, every day, you know, I'm on lots of calls all day, whether it be for, you know, brand deals, partnerships, new events we're working on, you know, just little like, you know, new cars we're painting. Like right now we're trying to, where it works for like a TV show to where basically it'll be like, you know, each episode will be painting something different. So it'll be,
Okay.
you know, a boat one episode, a private jet one episode.
Well, that's super
Like a
dope.
6
Like
by
your own
6.
reality TV show.
Yeah, like a 6x6 apocalypse, you know, and we'll have just all these things. And, you know, so just organizing all these things, like I said, getting assistants behind it, you know, and then everything from also just answering emails, you know, making sure.
I'm sure he
staying on
gets
time, on
blown
track.
the fuck up by people.
That's
Bro,
one thing I know.
You could paint anything. So I just
Yeah.
imagine people have the craziest requests for you guys.
That's the crazy part. People always hit us up, and then, you know,
How many
people hit you up? They're like, "Oh yeah, do this for me." You're like, awesome. Like, what's your budget? You're like, a budget. I'm like, oh, you want? You know, people always just think you get free stuff in this world.
Yeah, I fucking hate
I
that.
don't get it. I don't get it.
How many people from the people that hit you up, like what's the percentage that's legit and what's the percentage that's, you know, that expects free shit or is just a waste of time?
I mean, honestly, Lana, he manages his own Instagram, so he's the one that gets most of the DMs on that front. I get, like I said, more of the bigger things, like, you know, with all the events, the brand deals, you know, like the things that really matter. Like,
I saw you guys were in Dubai as well.
Yeah.
Did you manage that, for example?
yeah. That was our third trip last year to Dubai.
Damn.
Yeah, so we were there. We went in May, then we went October, and then we went again in December. Probably back there multiple times this year. I know we got plans. Like I said, we're going to Tulum end of this month. You know, we're hopping on some podcasts in New York for Fashion Week. We're doing Super Bowl. I just booked up F1 Miami. You know, we got obviously Art Basel. We're already planning for it, which is always our biggest event.
Yeah.
Last year we did 3,000 tickets.
Yeah.
You know, painting a McLaren 720S.
Whose McLaren was that?
Sensei, Sebastian.
Sensei. Oh, awesome.
And
Nice.
then our boy, Trevor's Diablo Lamborghini.
Trevor, the white one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
So,
I know Trevor.
Yeah, you know, so.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's more my front. Like, I let him kind of deal with, like, the smaller one-offs, you know, maybe a custom commission or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, if people reach out to me, I'll respond and help them.
Yeah.
But for the majority, you know, like, he deals with, like, that type of stuff, and then, you know, we'll take over the bigger things.
Yeah. Typically, how much does a car cost to get splattered?
Nowhere under 25.
How much do people think it is?
A lot of people, like I said, will think, oh, it's free. Like, you just want us to paint a car. I'm like, no.
No, it doesn't work like
It doesn't
that.
work like that. Because, you know, like I said, we provide more than just a car painting, you know, like, as you see, we provide an experience, you know, people get to come, you know, and like I always say, you can ask, you know, the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, go ask him, whoever it is, if they've ever seen, you know, one of these exotic cars being painted live, they're going to say no. So it's not like a matter of how much money you make or like if you've seen this type of thing. It's like it's just a new experience.
Yeah.
So we kind of bring that, and like some people are posting on Instagram, so people get a lot of PR. So it's like we're doing more than just necessarily painting the car.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way, it's more of an investment. And then also if you keep that paint job on there and hold the car for a little bit, the value of the car is going to go up because now it's a one-of-one art piece. Painted
Holy
art,
fuck! I didn't think about it that way.
And a lot of people don't think about it that way, so they want to get it wrapped and then just take it off. I'm like, well, that's your loss. You can do that, but like I said, then you're just bringing the value back down. Because think about it, look at that, think about any great artist, over time their works get more and more valuable.
Yeah.
So it's like,
bro, and I see Artlana, bro. I just see him growing every single day. Yeah. I love his page, man, because I always see new art, and I like the fact that I've been able to see him go from like 200,000 followers to now he's like 400 plus. And I've seen a lot of his growth from last year to this year, but I never thought about it like that, like one-on-one car piece.
Mm-hmm. Think about it, because it's the same thing as like, oh, you have a one-on-one body kit in your car.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you take it off, it's going to revert back to its original value, or you keep it on, it's going to either gain value or just stay at that higher value.
Yeah. So no less than 25,000. Yeah. You know what? I feel like it's absolutely worth it because everyone, if people say it's too expensive, those are not your customers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because everyone, there's always a category for someone to fulfill in. Cheap people rather get something that is like, not, I was going to say 5,000, but even a wrap job is too much for them.
Yeah. Okay.
There's people that are always looking for a deal. There's people who are always looking for the cheapest way out. Me, in my opinion, I always look for like the best quality, not the best pricing as in to save money, but the best price as in, is this price justifiable for this quality? Because think about this, like car parts, you get me? You could buy a cheap car part that's going to break, depending on how much you abuse the car, or you could buy the best quality part and it's going to last you a lot longer. And I feel like that for a lot of services. So when I look to book hotels, look to book experiences, I always look for like first class on everything. You get me? Because we're only here so long. So I always think about, I want to have the best possible experience. And the way you described it, where it's not only just paint on your car, it's a whole experience, it's a whole movement that you're creating with that vehicle, with that artwork, whatever it could be. It's a one-on-one. You get me? Nobody else has it besides you, and that's where I see the value of it going up. That is something that I never thought of. That is pretty fucking cool. I know that you guys wanted to do the R8, so let me give you a little backstory with my R8. I gave the R8 to Jessica. I asked Jessica if she wanted to paint it, right? She didn't want that exposed look out there. You got me? She's low key. Yeah. So she actually wrapped the car the color of your shirt, like a nude. Okay. Yeah. And it looks really fucking nice. When she said that color on a car, I'm like, what? But it looks really fucking nice. Then my Lambo is getting wrapped. It's a special custom wrap that we're getting from a sponsor. I have a Corvette that just got wrapped. The only car that I have that I'm willing to like splatter is the 720, because the Urus, I want it to be low key. Even in a Urus, you're not low key. I'm actually gonna buy another vehicle, just to be more of a low key person and not out there.
Are we talking like what, the S580?
Yeah, something.
That's I like.
Yeah,
something low key. Yeah, so you can still be cruising.
Yeah, something low key, bro. Like Miami is too hectic. Yeah. You get me? So I rather have my nice cars for when I go and race, and then just drive something low key like an F-150. You get me? A truck, a Mercedes E350. Nothing crazy. You get me? Like $50,000 car.
Yeah.
But the McLaren, I'm thinking I could wrap it whatever color, preferably white, and then have blue paint, like a sky blue, like glowing paint. Is that possible?
Of course.
Like,
I'll take care of you.
Yeah. When do you guys have your next big event? Like, when's another big event that you guys are not looking for a car? Well, actually, you have a bunch.
I'm trying to put together a spring break event right now. We're trying to paint like a car and a yacht. Like, these
cars in the yacht.
Like these.
Well, what happens if you guys fuck up and the car ends up in the ocean?
We're pros though. We're pros. So these big yachts that have the helipads. We just basically get the crane and plop it on there and paint it. on the yacht.
Oh my God! Like,
I mean,
imagine you guys are lifting my car. Look at my car; it's up in a helicopter, and just falls in the ocean.
no, it wouldn't be a helicopter. It'd be a crane. You know, it'd be a little crane.
Crane.
Think about it. I mean,
I've seen it. Like where they transfer cars and stuff.
It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty dope. That's gonna be. How big is that yacht?
I want to say it's like a 150 or like a big
200 feet.
Yeah, 200.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones out here.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
What about for when's that? Where's this F1 event? The next one?
It's in Miami. It's at Hard Rock.
Okay. What date is that?
That's May 3rd through 5th.
Do you guys have a car for those dates?
But I mean, we always have cars, but it was nice to have options. So
Yeah.
we'll leave it up. Like I said, now I can tell them, you know,
Yeah.
'cause we already had the Koenig locked in.
Yeah.
So if we don't want to do that, we could do the McLaren. I
feel
think the
like
McLaren would make more sense.
Yeah, because
It's more sporty.
McLaren as a brand is getting so big around F1. I mean, McLaren was on a downward spiral, about to go bankrupt, and one of their partners invested about 90 million into the company just because they see how good they're performing with F1 races. So McLaren's a really big brand when it comes to F1, even though all brands are a big brand: Mercedes, Toyota, Honda, Lamborghini, etc., etc. I might be trading the McLaren in though, for a McLaren 765, which is, in my opinion, the exact same thing. It just has a kind of a different little body kit.
Yeah.
I want the 765 because the deal that they're proposing to me is so good to pass up. It's a 765. It has 200 miles, brand new car, for 420,000, which is like, whoa, like that's like less than MSRP.
Doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right, but it's coming from Lamborghini. I'm not gonna say which Lamborghini dealership because someone could take the deal from me, but it's coming from a Lamborghini dealership, so they're legitimate. But that's something we're gonna stay in touch with, man. Because if it's either that McLaren or this McLaren, I think I would like my car splattered at an F1 event.
Yeah.
I think that'll be super dope.
We could easily, especially if we do McLaren, I can definitely get, you know, the McLaren team involved too.
Yeah, bro. My favorite car that he has splattered has to be the SVJ.
Yeah, that's his favorite too.
Who did the SVJ belong to?
That's 6'9".
6'9".
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
And that pink Lambo, that one was that's Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Sugar Sean, okay.
That's our
Are
boy.
you gonna go to his fight in March?
Yeah.
Yeah, UFC 299 right here. That's one of the biggest things with fighting. Most people think fighting's all about that one lucky shot. You get me? When you're fighting someone who knows how to fight and knows how to preserve their energy, knows when to be explosive, knows different things, right? That person will let you work. Meaning for the first round, they'll fuck around with you. They'll let you work. They'll let you do things. You get me? And then when you get tired, they're going to be like, let's fight now. You get me? Because most people are uneducated with the whole fight game. You get me? The first 30 seconds they attacked you, like in a street fight, when you look at most street fights, you see the first 30 seconds, it's wild. You get me? But then you see after they're being held or something, they get tired. And that's where you see the dominant guy prevail, the guy who has the most stamina. You get me? Depending on the size, depending on different things, of course. That's when you see it prevail. But when we're talking about MMA professional, right? Majority of the guys who are at the top is because they have amazing cardio. Like, look at John Jones. You get me? He's been at the top for 10 plus years, right? He has an amazing skill set, right? But his cardio is on point. You get me? Do you know someone named Demetrius Johnson?
Of course.
Mighty Mouse, right?
Yeah, actually, he trains at American Top Team.
Yeah.
And so we know the owner, Colin, we're good friends with him. We're actually going to be doing a mural inside their warehouse up there in Boca.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They got everyone. They got, you know, Alexander Pantasia. They got Dustin.
Yeah.
They got a lot of like P4L fighters too.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a good club.
American Top Team, in my opinion, they're an amazing team. But with what I was going to say, Demetrius Johnson. When I think about Demetrius Johnson, I think about cardio. The guy never gets tired.
Or Sean O'Malley.
Yeah. Sean O'Malley, in my opinion, he hasn't been to the 5th round enough times to determine that. But I think Sean O'Malley, I've seen him go to the 3rd round and he looks amazing. You get me? So I think he has an amazing cardio. But now that he's champion And now that he constantly has to train for 5-round fights, in the next 2 to 3 fights, we'll really see what type of cardio he has if their opponent takes him to the 5th round. Because on his last fight, on the 1st round, he knocked him out. Aljo just knocked him out, and it was so clean. You get me? But with Demetrius Johnson, bro, I think he is one of the best fighters to ever live. I think his cardio is unmatched. Like, he looks in the 5th round the same as he was in the 1st round. So that's why I'm thinking it's just outmatched. One of the biggest people that I wish would have fought in the UFC is Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Bro.
He gave us the best commentating, so we'll take it. It's a good trade-off.
No, bro, there's some videos of him on
Back
YouTube.
in the day,
There's videos of him, I think 10 years ago, teaching George St. Pierre how to kick, how to do a side kick. He would kick the fucking bag, and the bag will fucking, like, turn sideways, and, like, bro, it looked like he would just, like, break your whole ribs. Like, the kicks were so perfect, and it was just, like, dominance. You got me? I would have loved to see him fight at the UFC. Someone else I would have loved to see fight in the UFC if times were different was Mike Tyson. Here's why. I wonder how Mike Tyson would have been. We know as a boxer, in my opinion, before he went to prison, I think he was the scariest. Actually, no. After he got out of prison, for the first 5 fights, he was the scariest fighter alive. Like, it was fucking crazy. But I wonder how he would have done in MMA if he knew wrestling. Because the guy was strong as fuck. You know what I mean?
don't think he has the patience for wrestling. I don't know.
You never know. This is why it's always like, what if?
What if?
These stories, it's crazy. What do you think about boxing versus MMA?
I think boxing is boring compared to MMA. I think
name 3 of the top boxers right now, or you don't know any.
I mean, I know I can go like Anthony Joshua.
That's
a hard one not to. I mean, would you consider Jake Paul as one of the top boxers or no? It's a good question, right?
That last fight of his was sus. I mean, bro, when you're a nobody and you get offered $1 million, shit, knock me out. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. You get me? Who remembers the guy that Jake Paul knocked out?
I don't remember his name.
Me neither. You get me? But we still paid for the pay-per-view or went somewhere that was featuring the pay-per-view to see it.
Shout out Stream East.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yo.
Stream East, yep.
I used to use that when I was broke, but now I don't use it. Depending on the fighter. If it's someone like Jake Paul, like, yo, fuck it, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to pay $70-$80 for that guy. But if it's like people in the UFC, like Sean O'Malley, like for Sean, we're going to the event. If it's like an Anderson Silva, John Jones, anyone,
it's a stack card.
Anyone from the UFC, I'm paying for the event because, bro, the work that these athletes put in is 3 workouts per day. Majority of them, if they live in the US, let's say they're making $40K to show up, $40K to win, $80K. If you get injured and you're out for a year, that's only $80K, and then you have to pay your management team. You have to pay your trainers. You have to pay expenses. You have to pay your meals. You have to pay your roof over your head. If you have kids, like, most people don't understand that before you hit the top of MMA, there's a lot of shit that goes on with MMA. Yeah. You get me? This is why you're going to see more and more champions outside of the US, which you already see them. You see a lot of people from Russia, from Dagestan, from Brazil. You got me? If you make $80K and you live in Brazil, that's like $250K because of the currency difference. If you make $80K and you live in Dagestan, Russia, bro, that's like $600K. Like, you're well off. You get me? And as soon as you make it to the UFC, the typical payout at the UFC is $20K to show up to the fight and $20K to win the fight. So that means you'll get paid $40K. One of the biggest things that people have tried to make unions with or cults with is fighter pay, where they say, Dana White, you don't pay enough to these fighters and this and that. But these fighters, again, they're fighters. They're not business people. They don't understand what it takes to run a UFC. Yeah. How many other corporations have tried and they're not even at the level that the UFC is?
And to tie it back to the music, same thing,
To the music
industry. A lot of artists don't understand what You know, they think, oh, you can just make a song, do this, and it's gonna work. You know, but like there's a lot that goes on, and that's why, like you said, the management team is really the core. Yeah, and that's the same thing with UFC too. The management team of all these all the different agents for the athletes. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, and this is where, again, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I feel like your position is the core to the branches of everything else. You get me? With that being said, to ask you the last question, one of my biggest things here at Traders Cast is I like to ask people where they're at today and where they're going to be 12 months from now. So in 12 months from now, when you come onto the podcast again, we could say, you know what? You said you were going to do it and you fucking did it. You get me? So in 12 months from now, you said one of the major things you wanted to do was hire more people so you could create a system to allow yourself to be able to manage more talent, right? How many more people do you want to be managing? Right now, you are at 3. By the end of 2024, start of 2025, how many people do you want to be managing?
I think like 15.
15. Wow, so that's a big jump. Yeah.
But that can include, like I said, a fashion model, a singer, or a painter. It doesn't have to be, obviously Lana, he's amazing. He does music and art, and visual, so he does everything. But it can just be like a fashion model. It can be this and that,
Yeah,
that's kind of the base. And as much as I love management, of course, I have so many other business ventures and ideas I want to, go off into as well. So that's one of my other goals, probably for the next 6 to 12 months, is, start to build up those other business ventures I have. Yeah, and just really start to build it into a real company.
Nice. So, if you don't mind me asking, I was actually supposed to ask you the last question, but that actually got me very interested. What are these different businesses that you want to do in the next 12 to 6 months?
Yeah, so one of them is we got Art Beast, which I'm wearing right now. Yeah. This is with Arlana.
That's a dope-ass shirt.
This is like our I hate to call it merch because I feel like when you say merch, it sounds very like devalued. So
do you have more of those shirts so I could buy one?
Yes. We're actually just about to do our first drop in February. Got some really cool stuff. I'll show you after the podcast, after we're done. But yeah, so this is one of my main ventures, and we don't just do shirts, Art Beast, they do, it's more like a streetwear, like a real streetwear. So we do a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So that's one of the main ones I want to focus on. I have my other one, it's kind of like, it's like an all-in-one service. So like if, let's say you're throwing an event, okay, a big event, and, you need not only event production, but maybe you need, videographers and photographers, or maybe you need, venues, and then you also need, marketing for the event. I have, because I have connections on just like every industry, and so I kind of want to just use my connections in each industry and create a business front in each industry, if that makes sense. And, people always say, don't put, don't over like thin yourself out too much and focus on too much. But I think I already have the good, solid foundation and connections and people that are willing to help me and want to grow and build with me, that it won't be too much of a hassle, So like, for instance, like I said, obviously the fashion space with Art Beast, like I said, with more to event production, stuff like that. I have a lot of connections, like the credit repair, it's like there's so many different avenues that we, money I feel like is not easy to make, but people I feel like nowadays, they don't understand all the opportunities out there to make it happen. They may see some opportunity, think, oh, it's a scam or it's a fraud or it's this and that, or just go back to your 9-to-5 work. And that's fine. Like I said, we need those people in the world. We need the people to work at the grocery store. We need the people to, farm the land and do all this. So I was like,
I need someone to flip the burgers.
Exactly. Yeah. I need a pilot.
Or I need the robot to do it.
To fly the private jet. Yeah. You need this. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think a lot of people people make it sound like it's like someone else's problem, when really it's like it's your problem. Yeah. Like I'm not saying, people are always born into tough situations, have many other, obstacles in life that, others don't. But at the end of the day, you can't always use everything as an excuse. Yeah. At some point you gotta be, okay, this is what my life is. This is, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna sit here and cry about it for the whole, my existence, or am I gonna push on forward? Yeah.
There's a lot of actually business owners that start something, goes really well, right? Then they hit their major fall. You get me? They step on mud and they go too deep in. And once they're too deep in, they give up. And if they would have just taken the next step to get out of the mud, their business could have went 5x, 10x, whatever. But they give up because times got hard. And this is where it's a quote that goes like, weak people create hard times. Hard times create strong people. Strong people create easy times. And easy times create weak people. Make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people, like people who think that everything's a scam. You get me? Back in network marketing, I used to use this phrase, scam, still chilling at mom's. Scam, still cooking at McDonald's. You get me?
Yeah, I like that.
And majority of the people that think it's a scam, I feel bad for them. Because if you think that everything's a scam, you got programmed by your environment that life is too good. It's not realistic to go for that. It's not realistic for you out of the hood to make it out and be successful. Oh, that person did it. Oh no, they were just a one-hit wonder. You're never gonna achieve that. When I think it's the complete opposite. You get me? If you went through a tough time, if you went through a tough childhood, if you came from fucking nothing, what do you have to lose? You get me? Like if you work at fucking McDonald's, what the fuck do you have to lose by chasing your dreams? Yeah. If you work at a factory and you are a single mother, right, of 2 kids, what's the worst that could... Yes, you could lose your job and you could be in a fucked up situation financially because you have 2 kids. But what if you chasing your dreams worked out? What would that do for your kids? If you are a single guy, here's what happens with majority of the guys. Let's say you're a guy in a relationship with a girl. Girl breaks up with you. Out of nowhere, you see all guys on Instagram hitting the gym. You know, they're on their shit with work, with, you know, their companies, with their businesses. Why is it that it takes like a female to give you a wake-up call before you do something with your life? You get me? Majority of the people that live in this era are fucking weak. They're fucking pussies. And this is what gives me and you the opportunity to just come in and fucking do whatever we want just because we have a stronger mentality. All people have to do is really look back. Just look back and say, you know what? What do I have to lose? You get me? By chasing my dreams.
No, you should invest. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's about your environment, how you're raised and stuff.
Yeah.
Nowadays with social media, it's like, in my opinion, there's no excuse because you can see everyone doing everything. And of course, like you said, some of it's going to be fake, but like at least it's a possibility to do that now. So now there's really no like, oh, I won't be able to accomplish. It's like, no, it's all in your head. You know, and I always say, people always nowadays, they want to try something new for, 6 months. And they think in 6 months, if they're not, a millionaire out this business idea, whatever,
it's not worth it.
It's like, no, you got to put in 5 to 10 years. Just like I've already put in my 10 years with music, since 3rd grade. Obviously I was
how old are you now?
A little bit, 23.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought you were older. I'm 24.
Yeah, we're the same age. So like, since 3rd grade, I got lucky. I stuck with music my whole life. Luckily my parents always supported me, always pushed me in that direction to stay with music. I mean, of course I was always having a regular job, working at, a McDonald's, a place like that, of course. Always stuck with music though. So I got, a little bit advantage in that sense. But I mean, it's still like, you just can't give up. It's like that one gif where it's like you see the miner on the bottom. It's like he's like right next to the gold, and then he's just turning around, and there's another guy who's like right there, but he keeps shoveling, so he's gonna get it first.
Exactly.
In my opinion, it's really just a matter of who gives up versus who doesn't.
Yeah.
In his life.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with anything. If you look at your relationship, are you gonna give up in your relationship? You're gonna keep trying. School, you're gonna give up in school. You're gonna keep trying. Your business, like it's really just who's gonna give up and quit. That's really what it comes down to.
That's I agree with you 100%. To end off the podcast, I really want to finish it by saying this. Most people give up when they're about to hit gold, when they're about to see something different, when they're about to open the door. You get me? And those who, in my opinion, look at themselves after this video, right, and say, this is who I am. What do I have to lose? These are my dreams. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to process this information, right? It's going to come in my head. It's going to form, and I'm going to take action on it, right? Are going to see themselves in a completely different spot 12 months from now, right? From where they're at. Because all it takes is one idea, one decision to say, I'm going to go and do it. And then the mental toughness to fail and fail and fail and fail until you get it right. You get me? Because all it takes is one big win. Mm-hmm. You get me? You could have 100 losses. All it takes is one big hit. This reminds me of Babe Ruth, one of the most successful baseball players in the world. He had the most strikeouts. He wasn't known for the most strikeouts. He was known for the most home runs. You get me? Sometimes in business, in music, in any type of career, you could be known for the guy who was the most dominant, because people are not going to remember you for the guy who got hit the most. People are going to remember you as the guy who basically hit the most. You get me? And with that being said, I just want to encourage everyone to follow your dreams, take a risk, do something fucking different this year. Like, just take the risk. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose your job. You get me? You might take a step back, but that step back will make you leap forward. Take that risk. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.